Hello and welcome to American Wasp. I am your host, Dieter McBusiness, joined today by the ever present, ever ubiquitous Devil's Advocate Productions DAP. How you
Hello,
doing,
hello.
man? You are up on this channel, I think, more than anybody, as best I can tell. You are
Probably
you are
home
getting
as
hooked
much
up.
as
You are getting
anybody.
hooked up with the guest spots, as best I can tell, man. I'm jealous. What's your secret? Everybody seems to like you. You gonna run for class president?
Yes. Vote for me, November 4th, folks. Class president of this space.
So I don't know if this how this looks. It's like at a little bit of an angle, but
It looks all
I
right.
am
It sounds, you're a little quiet.
I'm a little quiet.
A little
Okay,
bit.
okay.
If you could either
Um,
bring the mic closer or just turn up the gain a little.
no, I'm just gonna do this. How about that? That should be good.
Better,
That should
much
be
better.
better. Yeah, that should be
Yeah.
much better. Um, so dude, I texted you earlier today because I was excited to talk because I've got a lot of clarity about the whole tragedy that has been, the Charlie Kirk assassination.
Yeah.
Um, because I just tuned into some right wing channels just to see how they were responding, and
You were
they're
like, oh,
of
right.
of course they're acting like the left is dancing on his grave and firing pistols in the air, and no one's really doing that. People are just saying, "Don't forget who this guy was. We shouldn't be having moments of silence for him at NFL games."
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing. So it's important for us to remember who this guy was. And they're interpreting that as us dancing on his grave and being glad that he's dead and all that shit. And they're gonna believe what they want. I was typing in the chat on this guy from Pennsylvania, conservative populist he calls himself, and I was talking with them and I said, like, who on the left, who are some big name lefties that are celebrating Charlie's assassination, and he didn't come up with anybody. He didn't come up with anybody. So they're just going to believe what they want. Their victimhood justifies their narcissism. Talk
This,
about this on my channel a lot is if you're the victim, then you're allowed to get away with a lot of shit, aren't you? If you're the victim, then you're allowed
oh,
to get
yeah.
away with a lot of shit. And that's what
Oh,
they
yeah.
want, dude. They want to be the victims. So that I mean that's what Trump's MO has been from the beginning is the bully playing the victim.
Yeah. It's a classic bully move. You said something to me for whenever a bully is called on by the teacher or whoever's a parent, they say, well, they did this, and they change
Right.
their voice to be all soft. Well, I was attacked. That's what they've been doing. As if you if you needed any kind of reminder of who these people are, it's fucking Stephen Miller. It's
Yes.
all of them coming
I
out
call them
just
the four horsemen of Goebbels is Bannon, Miller, Shapiro, and Kirk. And
I would
now
replace that
obviously
with Shapiro with Tucker.
no, because Tucker was popular way before Trump.
Yeah, true.
Those four people really became powerful because of Trump.
Okay, all right, I can
Yeah.
see that.
Yeah,
But
Tucker's
what
been
about
around for a
Shapiro?
while.
Because Shapiro's been around for a while, but I
Shapiro's
guess,
been around for a while,
and
but
he
he
was
really
anti-Trump
grew.
at first.
Yeah, he was. But it shows you that crowd, they don't care.
Yeah,
They don't
and they
care what you
really
used to
don't
say. There's
care
no
about being
accountability.
hypocrites. They don't
No.
care about like they.
No,
The
my
reason they're
co-host
saying
of my
everyone's dancing on the grave because that's what they do. That's
that's what
what
they
they
do.
do, and they
Exactly. That's
assume
what they
everyone
did
else
with
does it.
Minnesota politicians who got sniped.
Yeah, Paul
That's what they
Pelosi,
did. And
anyone, George Floyd.
my co-host on Left Coast Live, which I'm going live tonight at 7:30 p.m. or sorry 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. My co-host on Left Coast Live says that the Republican Party is built on hypocrisy, and they say one thing and then they do the exact opposite.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
just don't care, and
they
they
don't care.
stop
And
caring
they talk
about being
about freedom of
embarrassed by it.
speech. Well, they talk about freedom of speech and how that's what Charlie stood for. That's like was his ethos was the
Mhm.
First Amendment, right? First Amendment and the Second Amendment, ironically, were his ethos.
Yeah.
And so, isn't it just a test of the freedom of speech to say, like, you know, I don't think he should have gotten shot and killed, but am I glad he's gone? Yes. And people are getting fired for that.
Yeah.
People are fucking getting fired for saying shit like that, and it's ridiculous.
It's they're getting. I mean, dude, they had a whole website. They had a whole website until someone sued to bring it down.
Oh, right. Yeah, I saw
I
that.
still have it logged in, but it's can't be reached. But it's charliesmurderers.com. This is what they did right away. They right away, Stephen Miller coming out. We're gonna label any leftist organization that we want, anything that we decide. We're going to define the rules of what hate speech is and
Right.
whatnot. That's what their arguments have been on CNN. That guy, Scott Jennings, who's always on the fucking round table, he's going like, well, you've been calling us Nazis and fascists and racists
Yeah,
for
and
this
that's the
long. Well,
problem, right? That's the problem.
those are the slurs, not the actual slurs. They
Right.
want the actual slurs to just be commonplace again. They miss it when it was commonplace to
Right.
say, call someone gay for being dumb or whatever, or the R slur for
Right.
disabled people. It's all over Twitter because that's what Elon wants, because that's what he remembers, and he doesn't. He does. They don't want societal consequences. They don't want
Right.
people to think they're assholes, and you just can't legislate that. You can't force it down people's throats. The more you try, the more people are going to think you're assholes.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those vicious cycles types of deals.
Yeah.
But that's the case. That's the case with a lot of things in American politics today, and people are just hearing what they want to hear. But the victimhood thing really drives me nuts because these fucking bullies have been just pushing hardworking immigrants around ever since Trump took office with these ICE raids, and it's like everyone's forgotten about that. And
Oh, I mean, even
they don't care. They look at them less than they say, oh, they're illegal. They shouldn't even be here.
Yeah.
It's like, so wait a second. I thought you hated the government, and so you think the government's immigration law is like fair, balanced, makes sense.
Right.
Of course it doesn't.
It
It's
does
fucked.
when you
The
break it
immigration law is
down
fucked.
to anyone. When you really I mean, we've seen it. We've seen it on CNN, MSNBC, The Daily Show, fucking Colbert, for for 20 years. We've seen it. Them being confronted with their lies, their double standards, their hypocrisy, and they just shrug and they keep getting elected, and it doesn't fucking matter. So
Right.
now they don't care. They
Right.
don't even care to try. Like, some people still try, like the establishment ones, Susan Collins and them, but it doesn't matter if you say you disagree, but you vote for it anyway, or like, we're done. We're
Yeah.
done getting placated to,
Well,
especially when
that's
Charlie.
what. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, you got it.
Especially when Charlie Kirk is getting fucking this much airtime, and then moments of silence at baseball games. This fucking happened. Nina Turner, 13 homeless people were killed in Minneapolis. America shrugs. These folks are not invisible, not disposable, not less than human. Like, this happened, what, yesterday? Is this getting round the clock cover? It's still Charlie Kirk.
No.
And that's because that's all the Republicans are talking about. They know how to. They're not even clever, man. They're not even clever. That's the most frustrating part.
No, they
is
know
they're
how to
so
deal with the
dumb.
moment. They know how to deal with the
They
moment.
just repeat it.
And
It's
they've got
all they talk about
different. They've
is
got
Charlie Kirk.
different weapons in their toolbox where it's like they could do the distraction, they could do the victimhood, they could just straight up bully and shame. They could talk about transgender people. They can go racist, dog whistle. Like, they got a lot of weapons in their arsenal, and it takes a good education to be able to see them all coming.
And the news doesn't do shit. They just react. They just
so
react
much
to whatever
too-
they say. What are you guys going to say today? Oh, you're going to say that? Well, we're going to talk about what you said. Not, we're going to say this. We're going to stand for this. You talk about it. You talk about how we should still have sniper rifles available. Right. Defend that. Defend it. Not, oh, they'll stop politicizing. Blah, blah, blah. I don't care. Why should we have sniper rifles just available at Walmart? God damn. It's so frustrating that they're so dumb.
Yeah, but they would call you dumb. Like these guys on these shows that I was listening to, they would totally call you and I dumb.
I know, but like,
And they would be like, "Well, these guys don't understand guns." And that people they would counter what you just said with people have a right to defend themselves.
okay, you don't need to defend yourself from 500 yards away.
Right. Exactly.
No one's coming for you.
Right.
Like, goddamn, man. I get it. And again, have guns available. Go to a shooting range, and they have all the different kinds of guns that you can play with, and test, and whatever the fuck. There, in that safe environment. And then you have to give it back to them when you're done. And you can have a personal
Yeah, but it's
shot,
just
like
the
what Joe
genie's out of
Biden
the
said,
bottle.
get a shotgun. Remember when he made that ad after Sandy Hook?
Yeah.
Get a shotgun. That's all you need is shotgun. That's it. Get a shotgun.
I don't want
and
a,
a
I don't
handgun
want a
and
damn gun.
that's it.
I don't want a damn
Yeah.
gun. I don't want
I don't want
a gun.
anybody to have
I don't want a gun in my goddamn house. Like I just don't want it. I just don't want it in my house. I don't want anything to do with guns. And I mean, people have to get real. It's not about defending yourselves more often than not. People want a gun so that they can feel powerful. Okay?
Yes.
That's what they really want. They really want to feel powerful. This was my last episode of the Who Are MAGA series. I finished up, I think, about a year ago. And I did one on the gun nuts. And, so I encourage you guys to check that out. And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because I could use the subs. But I want to move on to this shooter and his identity because I keep scrounging for details and they're really hard to come by. Reliable details are really hard to come by. But all I've been hearing is so far, this is what I know is like he comes from a MAGA family. But some people are saying he was like the only lefty in his family. There was the Groyper theory early on, but that has since kind of waned. But still, it seems like there is still mystery surrounding who this guy is and what his motivations were.
Well, I have this article from Ken Klippenstein that I showed on my show yesterday that kind of goes into he got leaked some of the Discord chat that he was in, that the shooter was in, and
I saw
kind of
those
goes
messages,
into
yeah.
it.
Are those legit? Are those verified messages though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Ken Klippenstein, I do not.
Yeah, but what did he say? He doesn't want the hate, right? He didn't identify with the left. He didn't like.
Yeah, no, he did. He didn't ultimately,
say like, he didn't say like, oh, Hassan is my favorite progressive lefty or something like that.
ultimately, Ken Klippenstein says he's going to be identified as a nihilist, violent extremist. Is what the federal government is starting to look into. People who have no discernible motivation, like political motivation for killing high-profile figures, like Luigi, like this guy, Luigi had personal grievances with the healthcare company, as you described the other week,
right?
But also, like, this guy who shot Kirk just found out that Kirk was going to be nearby. The guy who shot at Trump also falls into this category. He just found out that Trump was going to be nearby,
right?
And he wanted to do something to become famous, to have some kind of meaning. And it's because, or at least the going theory is that a lot of young men are told you have to be, I think you said this maybe, have to either get really rich or really famous. One of those two things, and you have to do it as soon as possible.
Yes.
And if not, you're a loser. So by the time they hit mid-20, they're post-school, school's done. What are you doing 22. Now? You're supposed to have...
Shooter's only 22. But
well,
the full sense of purpose...
you're looking down the barrel of literally no more college. Like, they said he only went to like 6 months of like a technical school or something. Like on remote online school. So like he wasn't even in college. He's looking down the rest of his life going like, am I going to make an impact? Because I have to, because I see Andrew Tate saying you have to. I see Logan Paul having all the mansions and the diamonds and whatever the fuck. And it's the pressure, dude. We grew up under it. We saw like rappers and fucking celebrities, actors have cool shit, rock stars.
a lot of people who, because you're doing what I like to call empathetic arithmetic right now, and
That's a good term. I like it.
yeah, you should. You can take it as long as you give credit. Uh, um, but a lot of maybe women would struggle to understand that kind of sociopathy, that need to matter.
Hmm.
But I think it goes all the way back to our hunter gatherer days where it's like my purpose is not really my the purpose of my life is to protect and provide for others. And that's really what a man back in the hunter gatherer days was supposed to do, right? Protect and provide.
Right.
Um, and so when you grow up and you still have that innate desire in you, and then you grow up in a society that tells you, yeah, basically what you just said, you're either a winner or a loser, and most people who are
And here's
straight
what we
white
mean by
men.
winner and loser.
But the straight white man thing too is like
Yeah.
it's particularly like pronounced that like there's no excuse for you to not be a winner.
Exactly. You don't have the excuse of you're black and you're
Right.
systemically oppressed. You're a woman and you're systemically. You don't have the excuse of any other. And
Right.
when you're a white man, you look at those as excuses, like, oh, affirmative action. You took someone's spot
Right.
because you don't. The government tried to fix a problem that wasn't really there. It should be merit and blah blah blah. But yeah, as a straight white man, you're like, well, I should be. Why aren't I? Why don't I have a house right now? I'm in my
Right.
early 20s. Every sitcom says the parents got married in their 20s, moved out. Like these are the checklist of life things to do. And
Right.
why aren't I filling this out? I don't have a political understanding of the systemic problems that have happened over time and how the middle class has never really existed and been shrunk. Like, and so I'm just angry. And I know a famous person's going to be in a convenient spot. I have access to guns. This is my chance. Maybe in a
Right.
moment of panic. I don't know. But like
Desperation.
desperation.
It's desperation.
Exactly.
It's the ability. It's the power thing. Power is defined as the ability to create change or prevent it. And I think he probably heard just a lot of like, some guys that we're friends with on YouTube said earlier today that like these Charlie Kirk America First Turning Point USA events, they were effectively Hitler Youth recruiting events.
Yeah.
They really effectively were. Like
Oh,
insofar as
absolutely.
Charlie Kirk was a Nazi, you know, he these would qualify as youth recruiting events,
And
and it's
yeah,
disgusting. Like, but I mean, it's actually like if there's the big negative of him being assassinated is the martyrdom,
yeah.
is the revisionist history, the whitewashing of his legacy, which was like now it's not okay to call him a Nazi because of the way he died.
Nah, man. Just like Ben Dixon was saying, like the way you could still be like, he should be alive. He should be alive, but he wasn't a good person. He's not. He wasn't a
Exactly.
good person. Like it was shocking when that happened, and it was shocking to see the video as a
Yes.
human being, like feeling like, oh my
That's
god,
what it
it's
was too.
scary.
That's exactly what it was. It was
Definitely.
seeing him die and being like, wow, I wouldn't wish that on anybody. Um, but yeah, and then this competition over the identity and purpose of the shooter. My whole thing is like, no matter where that conversation goes, everyone's obsessed with it, and I get it. I get it. Like totally get it.
Yeah.
You want to know who did it, what was his motivation, that kind of thing. But it's not going to end up mattering because we're already at war. People are saying like, "Oh, we need a civil war." It's like this war's been going on for a while. I've been saying it on my channel for
Yes.
fucking ever since I started my channel. Is that they're waging war on us? Go watch the Steve Bannon documentary American Dharma, and he will tell you that MAGA America, which is what he, is a craftsman for,
Mhm.
is the purpose of it is to wage unapologetic sociocultural war on any kind of progressive change, any kind of liberal change,
Yeah.
and
Wasn't
it's
that the
extreme.
Breitbart mission too?
Yes,
Andrew Breitbart.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is no for people who are familiar with conservative culture. We understand that fascism is the natural net result of conservative politics devolving over time. Like we know that, but
Mhm.
most people don't, and most people don't understand that like we're living in a fascist war. I found out I got a relative, a blood relative, that I found out voted for Trump 3 times, and so did their spouse, and they were huge Charlie Kirk fans. And so now I have to see them at some point in the relatively near future.
Aye.
And it's like, how's that going to go? I'm just going to stand out. I'm just going to stay on my fucking high horse, man. It's like I've been right about this shit since I was a kid.
Dude,
Like
like
I haven't been right about the left since I was a kid. I'm not going to say that. But ever since I went to college and actually like did the homework and studied conservatism, I've been right about the right. I've been right about the right for over 20 years.
it's scary. I I rejected it. Like I went to progressive schools, my whole life, and I hated my parents. I hated the teachers. So the authority figures I didn't
Right.
like. So you must be wrong. The opposite of what you're telling me must be right. So I guess that's that thing, republicanism, that you won't really tell me about. You just keep telling me they're racist and they're bad. And I don't know what that means. And I don't see any racists around me here in New York City. So it must not be true. Let me go investigate this shit. And I didn't really care, so I didn't really investigate. But once I started watching the news because I was curious and I found it entertaining, I I recognized, I was like, oh my god, they were right. My teachers were right. These people are racist. They are
Yeah.
dumb. They are
Yes.
vicious and cruel and want to harm people.
Confederate Christian Nationalism. CCN. Confederate Christian Nationalism. That's the enemy. All those, see, that's the thing is if you could get that message to like the Republican New Yorkers, like the New York conservatives and the California conservatives, it's like, do you know who you're in political bed with? Do you know who your like, your political spouse is? It's a Confederate flag waving, Bible beating gun nut. Like all you kind of like Northeast and West Coast conservatives, like they're completely oblivious to that. Or some of
They
them embrace it. Like places like Fresno
yeah.
and Bakersfield, they like have the Confederate flag all over the place in those towns.
This is what I've been thinking. Like some of these people, the elites, right? The moneyed people. Some of them are true believers and truly believe the shit. And most of them, I would say most. I don't know, you may know more better than I do. But I would say most are just in it for the money. And so we'll
Yeah,
go whichever way that the money goes, and knows that this shit is chaotic and destructive because they
right,
remember the first term. It wasn't great for them. They got
right,
tax breaks for themselves, but their companies didn't, eh. Because if people don't have the money to spend to go out, that's what's happening in DC, or they're afraid because the troops are walking around, it's not going to be good for business.
right.
They don't want, and
Well, that's why like
eventually they're
back.
going to pick a side and they're going to be like, all right, like FDR, and they go, okay, we'll cut you a check for the people so they don't come and kill us. Let's get back to work and back to business
Right.
and have some regulations. And then we'll, slowly work to undo that over time. But right now, at least we get a break. And that's coming. I think it's coming. With Zoran, fucking Graham Plattner in Maine, Kat Abu in Chicago, all these candidates rising up, the movements rising up, the No Kings protests. It there's the tide is changing. I hope.
Yeah, it's just
Um,
going to take longer than you expect it to or want it to. Just make sure
yeah, but I
make sure you
think it
understand
will
it's
be
going to take
faster.
cycles. I think it's going to
I
take
think
two
it'll
or
be
two or three
faster
election
than.
cycles.
All
Two or
right.
three.
Don't
I
make me
think
wait.
hopefully two, because we're going to presidency, and I can see Gavin coming back to the left a little bit harder than he used to be. I
Again,
can see him getting in
I
touch
can
with his
see him
roots.
being a weather vane. Kathy Hochul endorsed Mamdani.
Yeah,
Like they're
they coming.
looking
Maybe
for
yeah,
their
they could come around.
futures.
Yeah,
They're gonna come around.
yeah. Hopefully,
But in the meantime, we can watch them fight a little bit. So in the wake of Charlie Kirk, uh, This is Lon Harris. He's a movie critic, but he works on the Some More News show. He said, having failed to kickstart Civil War II, the new class, they've decided the best way to honor their favorite podcaster is turning on one another in his memory. So, this right wing account says Tucker Carlson reveals that Charlie Kirk told him many times in private that he did not like Netanyahu. Says Kirk saw Netanyahu as a destructive force and was horrified by the children being killed in Gaza under his leadership. And that's Tucker saying that. Mm-hmm. So then Bill Ackman jumps in, goes, Tucker Carlson went on a rant yesterday trying to tattle to turning points and suggested that I was in Jeffrey Epstein's constellation of people who have been getting away with scams. Ooh, I didn't know that. That's funny. His evidence is that the most useless people who have no actual skills become billionaires. True. That's a true thing, Tucker said. He referred to me as an example of one of those most useless billionaires in Jeffrey Epstein's constellation. And what's next? Ted Cruz. I'm getting really tired of Tucker and his cronies falsely claiming Charlie agreed with me that Israel is terrible and the problem is America is all the damn Jews. I knew Charlie went well, and indeed, the very last conversation we had was how deeply concerned he was about the rising toxic wave. First of all, Ted Cruz, a senator, retweeting like some random Twitter account, just it never gets old for me. And then what's the last one? This guy comes back with.
I need you to do all the Twitter shit for me. I can't stand the Twitter platform.
I love it. I think it's so funny.
Oh God, I hate it.
The last one is him saying Candace Owens warns she is ready to go to war against anyone who thinks they can step in to replace Charlie Kirk. She promises to release every single text message and expose everything. Owens tells them to back off now, claiming she knows exactly who they are over my dead body, which I'm sure can be arranged. So she's accusing, I didn't see that shit. She's accusing Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire. Because they're here, rumors are they wanted to buy it like right after. And I was like, they're already on the corpse, dude. The vultures are already fucking eating themselves.
To buy what? To buy
Turning Points, yeah. Ben Shapiro was looking into it.
Library of content or something?
Library of content, have a new host, and fold Turning Points into the Daily Wire, because apparently Daily Wire is bleeding money.
I don't know.
And subscribers. Because they don't trust Ben.
Do you know why?
Israel.
I mean, do you know why Turning Point USA was so successful?
Coke
yeah,
money.
Because of the money. Because of the money that they had. Any idiot could have started a new media venture if they had access to hundreds of millions of dollars to go get out and market their shit and take up all the best real estate and get all the Saturday nights they need to attract college kids. I mean, it'd be so easy. It was just a gimmick. And then Steven Crowder did the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, wow. He was like, oh, the college kids. It was like, yeah, they're college kids. They're there learning.
Yeah, it was an easy way. I mean, and this all started with O'Reilly. O'Reilly was the guy who started that by sending out a man on the street who was, for most of the time, Jesse Waters. And he didn't even come up with it. Jay Leno did that shit on the Tonight Show. That was
but they didn't do the college students. I think that was Kirk, wasn't it? Kirk that did the college
but they
students?
learned that they could send someone out on the street and manipulatively edit the footage to make it funny, to make it.
Yeah,
that was the Jay Leno bit on the Tonight Show. And then O'Reilly decided, oh, well, I can make it seem like liberals don't know anything. Right. So that's what they did on Fox, and then spun out into anybody could, just like fucking Dateline with Chris Hansen. Now he doesn't have a show. He's doing it on YouTube with a bunch of other YouTubers who are also just randomly trying to catch pedophiles. Like that's their content that they make.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So nice. Also what's going on because of this Charlie Kirk shit, because it's the dance, they got a gift in that they can fucking talk about this instead of Epstein and whatnot. They're having the CEOs of Discord, Steam, Twitch, and Reddit have been called to testify in front of Congress. They will answer to the American. This is the House Oversight Committee account, by the way. They will answer to the American people how their platforms have been used by radicals to advance political violence, including the assassination of Charlie Kirk. So this is the old 90s video game hysteria again. And they, again, you can't talk about guns. So they're trying to blame video games now. And I doubt it's going to work because they're fucking the Charlie Kirk's fans, the internet fans, the younger ones, they're all fucking video gamers.
Right.
Like that's the profile, the Ken Klippenstein article about this shooter is that he was from, middle, all over the place, probably leaning conservative because of his family and whatnot, but was interested in a trans person sexually. Like that's all. That's the only thing that the right has to call them a left winger is that they were sexually attracted to a trans person. It's like, but that's first of all the amount of grinder things that go up when the RNC is in town.
Yeah.
Me and Christina talked about that yesterday, but it doesn't, it's not a part of the ideology.
No.
You could be as racist as fuck and fucking homophobic as fuck in your legislation and your actions and still be, attracted to gay guys. Look at fucking Lindsey Graham, allegedly. But
allegedly. Nothing alleged about that.
I mean, I'm saying it for posterity, folks.
Exactly. Just being
But yeah, what do you
polite,
think
we don't
about
need
them
to be.
dragging these people into Congress and what's going to look like? It's going to be hilarious on the internet. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't even know. So they're giving the subpoenas out to those 4 social media outlets.
Yeah. It looks like the
I
CEO.
didn't even know Reddit had a
each one.
CEO. And what is Steam?
Okay, Steam is a video game launcher. So you'll on your computer, you'll open up Steam, and then that's where you'll buy games from. It's like a digital storefront, essentially.
Steam, Twitch, and Reddit, and Discord. I mean, Discord. There's a lot of conservatives that use Discord.
Yep.
Reddit's pretty liberal or pretty left, at least in my experience.
There are pockets. I mean, there's a reason why 4chan spawned out of Reddit and then got cleaved off.
What did?
4chan, I believe.
4chan started out of Reddit.
I believe I thought so. I don't know. I could be
Yeah.
corrected in the chat.
Yeah.
But this is the full statement, I guess. Today, House Oversight and Government and blah, blah, blah. James Comer invited the chief executive officers of Discord, Steam, Twitch, and Reddit to testify in a hearing on October 8th. All right. So that's, we'll check that out when that happens. The hearing will examine the radicalization of online forum users. I mean, it's Steam, you can't, again, look, basically with Steam and Twitch, it's like bringing in YouTube CEO, right. But Steam specifically, there's not even really comment sections or forums. I guess there might be. I don't use them, so there could be a whole ecosystem out there on Steam that I don't know
you're not
about.
aware of, right?
But it's really just chats in video games. So you ever play Discord, a Call of Duty online with the headphones on?
Yeah.
I mean, have you heard the slurs that are just spoken constantly? It's been like that for 20 years. It's going to be like that. That's just how it is.
The slurs, like people dropping like the N-bomb and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And during playing Call of Duty.
You never heard that?
No.
Oh, yeah. Because you're all anonymous. I mean, that's our generation. That's us who created that because we're anonymous. I'm never going to know who I am. So I can say whatever words I want. That's what we did a lot, our 13-year-old selves, to establish this crazy internet culture. But I wouldn't say it's our fault. I would say it's our parents' fault.
Oh, yeah? Okay. Sure. Why not?
It's our parents' fault for not understanding that we're joking. That's what happened with Facebook. They came into Facebook. They took everything seriously.
Like on the casings, if you are reading this, you are gay.
I mean, that's the culture that they are in, is that it's funny that the governor said that at a press conference.
Right.
Because he had to.
Right.
Like, that's the joke. Right. It's like a Joker joke, man. It's from the comic books. That's it's crazy. I'm telling you, the Joker has done shit similar to make himself laugh, and that is essentially what they're going for. But he's not even one of those guys. He's not one of those guys who did this on purpose. Like he did this to, I don't know. I'm gonna put these on bullets. Maybe I hit him. Maybe I don't. Maybe they kill me before I get there. He has no idea that this is actually gonna happen. You know, and he did it, and like the footage, you see him run off the roof. Crazy.
So do you know what the conservatives are saying is like the problem? Why this is happening? They're saying it's because we're calling them Nazis.
Yeah, it's Scott Jennings on CNN.
They're
You've been
saying
calling
it's
us
because
Nazis.
they're calling us
So-
Nazis. So people are are rising up and taking them out. It's like people can think for themselves.
Mhm.
People can think for themselves. People decide for themselves. Aren't you guys all about individual freedom and individual responsibility? So this is just some individual that took matters into his own hands. And if you actually do know numbers and permutations, like it's just a matter of time before the circumstances were going to line up with the individual and the vigilante, right? Vigilantism. That's the argument, right? That's the argument right now. And I know Vosh is someone that is weighed in on vigilantism. He is a hard no on vigilantism. And I don't know.
I
still
mean,
tempted to
they're
think maybe or
trying
maybe
to
not.
stoke it. Like you say, it's all projection. They, the reason why they're like, oh, all these things influenced people into doing this is because they don't think much of people. They don't think that people can think for themselves and make their own decisions. They
Right.
think they can tell people how to feel, how to think. That's what they've been trying to do, and it doesn't work. They're trying to force it now, and it's
Right.
still not working. People
Right.
actively go, wait, and especially when you try to force it, they've been smart since civil rights. They've been smart about being quiet,
Dog whistling.
dog
Yeah.
whistle. Yes, they'll be outward. I mean, Kirk did it. We showed clips. He was really good at seeming like a nice guy, calm mannered. I'm saying my truth. I'm going to stand up for my beliefs, and that's what I'm doing. And he acted. That was his act. That was his
Right.
shtick.
It's amazing
But
to me.
the shit that he says, it causes violence. I mean, Brian Kilmeade, that
Yeah, just
Nina
talked
Turner
about it, yeah.
thing
Yeah.
of 13 people killed or shot, hurt in mass shootings in Minneapolis, that's could be directly linked to fucking Brian Kilmeade saying on air, the homeless people, they should just kind of be killed. Like, I don't know, if they don't want help, they don't want help. Man, maybe you should just give them involuntary lethal injection. Like, and then he did apologize a couple days later on Fox. But in that time, someone might have had the idea, you know what? This guy's right. There'll be less crime if I do this. There'll be less problems if I do this. The city will be better if I do this. And they had access and they went out and they did something in a moment. I don't know. But it's not getting talked about. It's not getting
No.
talked about as much as Charlie Kirk, by the way, to remind people.
Yeah. I mean, so what outlet is that? What outlet
That
was
was
covering it?
ABC.
Local news? Okay.
ABC.
Yeah, because
but, you know,
CNN
it's-
and MSNBC are super guilty of not covering shit as much as they should.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't been watching ABC or CNN or MSNBC that much, but they're just so scared to death of coming across as like cold and insensitive that they won't bring up the negative side of Charlie Kirk's life, and that he was.
And they're
kind of a
terrified
fascist.
because I get it. They're they're people on TV in this nation knowing who these people are. Like, we know who they are. We're on a small enough channel that I don't think it's going to get much reach, but we are looking to get reach. We are looking to be big personalities. This is a concern. Hassan said it too. And you don't want to be seen as even close to celebrating,
Right.
or anything. And yeah, the Republicans are fucking goading, trying to goad. I saw Dave Rubin yesterday on the Vanguard Boys podcast talking about he was on Piers Morgan with Cenk Uygur,
Right.
and they work together, and so he's being like, you played this about how he should get harassed, blah blah blah. You incited this, and Cenk's like, dude, are you trying to put a target on me?
Yeah.
And that's a valid concern. That's a valid concern. So I understand why people on CNN and MSNBC wouldn't want to, but like if you're Rachel Maddow, if you're someone who can afford private security, fucking talk about it. Play his clips. Just play his clips.
I know.
Like that's
It's like
all.
the guy's on public record. The guy's on public record in a lot of ways, you know, saying some controversial shit, saying some racist shit, saying some xenophobic shit.
Everything he says. Just
Yeah.
fucking
It's not
take out
it's
a
not
block of
it's not it's
MSNBC time for an hour and just play his show for an hour. And then
yeah.
follow it with that was Charlie Kirk's show. Do you see, people, who this guy was? I'm sorry.
No, I mean, that's the kind of clarity that's come from a few days, right? Of it being out there and having like the time to reflect on it and dealing with the sensory effect of seeing it, right? Of seeing the assassination. That was the toughest part of like coming to terms with what happened, is that you saw it.
Yeah.
And you're like,
yeah.
oh, I wouldn't wish that on anyone.
And people, but
But it doesn't take
but
away
people
from the
have been
fucking guy that he
seeing
was.
images of genocide for 2 years.
Right, exactly. But they haven't
And
been. But they haven't been. They haven't been seeing it. They've been turning a blind eye
not as
to
much,
it.
not as much for sure.
They've been turning a blind eye to it for sure.
I do have a clip of Obama talking about Charlie Kirk that I
Yeah,
haven't
do it. I'm
watched,
going to
but
try and fix this fucking desk
Okay.
thing. Fire it up, and I'm going to try and. I'm
Obama
listening.
weighed in on Charlie Kirk's death. This is, first of all, Charlie Kirk would have laughed that this even happened. That Obama would have to kind of try and defend him here. That's so ironic. But anyways, this is Obama talking about it.
Look,
A little 3-minute clip.
yep. Obviously, I didn't know Charlie Kirk. I was generally aware of some of his ideas. I think those ideas were wrong. But that doesn't negate the fact that what happened was a tragedy and that I mourn for him and his family. He's a young man with 2 small children and a wife who obviously, and a huge number of friends and supporters who cared about him. And so we have to extend grace to people during their period of mourning and shock. We can also, at the same time, say that I disagree with the idea that the Civil Rights Act
Yeah.
of 1964 was a mistake. That's not me politicizing the issue. It's making an observation about who are we as a country. I can say that I disagree with the suggestion that my wife or Justice Jackson does not have adequate brain processing power.
I mean, that's kind of all we need to see from that. But like, yeah, and he took it personal, dude. They've been talking shit about Michelle. He knows. I've been calling her a man
dude,
since
yeah.
day one.
Yeah. No, he knows who Charlie Kirk is and what he stood
Yeah.
for, and they went after the Obamas really bad. I mean, if there is a guiding light in terms of understanding the evil that Charlie Kirk represented, it is through the lens of Black America. Just go ahead and check out what Black people have to say about Charlie Kirk, because they were listening to what he said about them.
Yeah.
And it's pretty straightforward. If you have any Black friends or relatives, and just ask them what they thought about Charlie Kirk, and
Yeah.
they'll probably give you some insightful
They'll
shit to
most
work
likely
with.
say, who's that?
Yeah,
Is that
yeah,
the guy who
exactly.
just died last
Just
week?
died, yeah.
Because they don't know, dude. He's
Right.
not that big of a figure. This is most people's first time hearing about it.
Right.
I would wager. We do have some breaking news that my lovely disembodied off-screen wife has texted me.
Okay.
Jimmy Kimmel has been pulled off the air for what he said
Oh.
about Charlie Kirk, and I had to find
I
out.
think I saw
what he
that in the
said.
chat. I saw that in the chat,
Oh, okay.
but I didn't know what he said.
Yeah. So this apparently is the clip of him getting pulled of what he said that got the right wing. Again, they're headhunting right now. They're going, who can we take? This is what happened. And I guarantee you this is why. Because I saw when I was looking for this just now, ABC fired Roseanne. And then they wanted blood. They said, Roseanne's one of us. We're going to take one of yours. Cernovich got a hate campaign going against James Gunn. Disney fired James Gunn. Warner Brothers hired him. We know the whole story. We talk about it, me and Christina, when we talk about DC stuff. But that's the story. So now this is another one. We want Jimmy off the air. We don't like what he said. We want him off the air. Fire him. And ABC has already paid money to Trump, to the administration, to settle the lawsuit because they don't want smoke. And anyways, this is what Jimmy said that they got mad at.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've
what did
just
he say?
started
He just quoted
construction of the new ballroom for the White House.
I remember this, yeah.
Which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction. Demolition, construction. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish, okay?
So
I mean, that's hilarious.
terribly
There you go.
offensive.
So much for free speech.
Yeah.
So much for free speech. I mean, the hypocrisy is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I've always been reluctant to call out hypocrisy for some reason because I feel like I'm a hypocrite in so many ways.
Yeah, me too.
But
everyone
but it's
is.
just like, this is so bad. This is so brutal.
I wanted to share. This is another.
They say free speech, and then if you just say anything slightly critical about
Well,
Kirk right now,
I'm
then
telling
you
you,
get censored.
Trump might not be taking it that seriously, but everyone else is. 'Cause look, some of people are getting tattoos.
See,
on
y'all,
turning
it's not
points.
a cult.
I mean,
Ew.
like,
Just gross.
this is a political action. This is a pack. You're getting a
Yeah.
tattoo of a pack.
Yeah. I saw a right winger last night talking about how, like, oh, the left wants to investigate Turning Point USA, but they don't want us to investigate any of their PACs. And I'm like, there you go, dude. Not a right winger not knowing the left. Actually, progressives and socialists, we're all down to see investigations of the PACs. We're down to see the PACs go away.
Yeah, we don't want.
We're down to see the
period.
PACs go away. So, like, the mischaracterization, I was watching Scaramucci's podcast because I find him hilarious. And they were trying to suggest that the left-wingers are the worst at understanding conservatives' arguments. It's like, no, we just reject them because we understand them so well. There are no arguments. It's not fact-based reasoning. Like
The ultimate
have
argument
it in,
is, I don't feel good about this. I don't want to
Right.
see it.
Exactly. It's like the way that they have demonized trans people, like, that's an issue I didn't even really want to deal with. I was just like, this is just the gay rights all over again. They have to vilify somebody, so they're going to vilify the trans people now because it's not cool to vilify the gays anymore.
Yeah, but they're gonna turn that. They're trying to turn that back. And again, Dave Rubin, you're gonna learn. It wasn't a good idea. Every black conservative also gonna learn. Wasn't a good idea, dude. A black conservative
no sympathy.
congressman
No
could be
sympathy.
driving down the street. A fucking ICE agent stops them, and they say, "Well, I'm a congressman. Don't you know who?" That ICE agent doesn't know who you are.
Right.
You lowered the standards of letting people join ICE.
Yeah, stop and frisk.
You don't want education in this country. They don't know who you are, and you get popped. Like, it's not going to end well. But
Well,
it's gonna end.
yeah, it's a lot of. I mean, you tell me, but this on the superficial level, it seemed like the black people that were remotely interested in MAGA were pretty much all men, and it was black men that the vibe that I got were like, I'm gonna get rich.
Misogyny.
Like that was
yes.
the vibe. Like
Misogyny,
I'm gonna be an
black excellence, black
I'm gonna
capitalism.
be I'm gonna be I'm gonna be an entrepreneur and get just stupid rich, and that's what's most important.
Yeah.
That seems like, and that's that's not specific to just black men who supported MAGA. It's the case for a lot of other minorities. Probably every gay
I mean,
that's gone
Snoop
MAGA
Dogg.
is probably the same
Snoop
way.
Dogg performed at
Yeah,
the
I
inauguration.
know. That was
He
really
just wants
disappointing.
money. He doesn't care.
Right.
And
And
he's
then
like, "Well,
everyone's
why are
trying
people
to-
mad at me?"
It's like because this guy's a fascist. You
It's like,
idiot.
dude, you've
You're
been smoking
normalizing
weed
him.
for like too much and too long. Like,
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah. Snoopy needs to.
Listen to your
Needs to
friends when
repent.
they say, "Hey, don't go."
Well, there's
do
going to
that."
be a comeuppance, man. There's going to be a reckoning. There's going to be a repentance demand on public figures who supported Trump. It's like you want to get your public respect back. You want to
Yeah.
you want to be treated with respect in public places.
And the only
Again,
way this is really going to end, and you're right, and I got some more of that, but they need the people who committed crimes need to be prosecuted.
yes,
There can be no more turning the page. We reconcile. We're okay. Da, 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 da. No. What happened in Brazil? Lula putting Bolsonaro in prison. That needs to happen
right,
because he broke the fucking law.
right.
But speaking of people
Yeah.
cozying up, there's Jay-Z and
Yeah, I know.
Beyonce
Yeah, I saw
at
that.
dinner with Ivanka and Jared.
Oh God.
It's at some kind of prison. I picture this more as not Jay-Z and Beyonce trying to get in with them, but Ivanka and Jared trying to be like, hey, can we still kind of like come to these fancy parties and like
Yeah.
we'll hang out at the Oscars and stuff? We don't really want to. We're not down with my dad. Like, come on. That's what the vibe I get.
Gross.
Yeah.
It's so gross. And yeah, I mean, what do you expect? The thing that the conservatives can't get around is the Epstein files. Like at the end of the day, if you ever get into a pickle with a conservative and or a Trump defender, and they want to try to act as if Trump was anything remotely resembling a respectable or acceptable person to be president, then just stick the Epstein files in their face. Tell them to fuck off.
Yeah, but I understand where you're coming from because you're saying like you're gonna have to go see some people soon who are like really into Charlie Kirk, and I understand like face to face when you're talking to someone, but I try to be like, well, dude, do you want more money in your paycheck? Do you want to not pay so much to go to the doctor? Why don't you think government should help with this? Like, what if government is for the people, by the people? It's us. It's you and me. We're the government.
Well, yeah,
we
but
elect these people.
That's
So
a
shouldn't
conversation.
we get good shit? Don't you want money
That's
back?
going to happen north of the Mason-Dixon line. That's going to happen north of the Washington. That's going to happen the northern side of I-95. Like that kind of conversation is not going to happen in the South.
Well, it can.
I
though.
mean, I don't think so. I don't think so. These people have been programmed to think that black people are dangerous, that immigrants are dangerous, that gays are dangerous.
But
and they,
you know,
and that,
where do
that
they
their
work?
fear
Who is this
matters more to
fictional
them.
person that we're making up? Who is this?
But they've
fictional
got, but
Southerner?
dude, they've
Where do
got
they
Reagan
work?
has programmed them too to think that government's the problem. Like you got to
But-
break through all those cultural assumptions
you
that have
break
been built
through
up in
by
their head.
being like on a person-to-person level. You know, Mr. Southerner who works at a gas station. Do you serve black people at your gas station? Okay. Do you have black people who work here? Okay, you do. Do you trust them to do a good job? You hired them. Do you sit next to them at a lunch counter, or do you go to that restaurant if they have black people in it? Like how I have to judge, I have to know on the insano-meter, like how far gone you are. Because if you're to the point of like, yeah, I don't want to like be around people that I'm like, all right, well, there's really no breaking through to you, at least not from me.
Right.
Maybe from
exactly.
a white person, but
Right.
even then, that had to be a different conversation. Okay, don't like black people, fine. But what about the paycheck that you are getting for operating that gas station, the costs of getting all the materials that you're going to sell in that gas station. I don't know. But it goes into your point of you need a different messenger for different situations.
Yes. That's why, I mean, they're never going to listen to a half black, half Jew talk to them about,
Yeah.
anything down south. Like, it's just not going to happen. But I'm telling you, they won't even listen to me, man, because I'm too well educated. I took school too seriously. Like, they don't like the guys that did the learning. They don't want to do the learning. They want to learn about the New Testament, and that's enough.
Yeah.
They're so fucking lazy. A lot of this is laziness.
It's so lazy.
A lot of conservatism is just laziness. It's just intellectual laziness. They just don't want to do the work. They don't want to do the reading. They don't want to do the thinking for themselves.
Very true. Very true. They're not curious. They want it. They want to.
They want the shortcut to the answers. I talk about this in my. I talk about this in my third essay that you might remember, where it's not enough to just call them stupid, right? It's what kind of stupid, because stupid takes different forms, and they have low existential IQ. They have a low IQ with respect to answering those big questions of why are we here? What are we supposed to do with our lives? Yada, yada, yada. Oh, I know. I'll just go to church on Sundays, and that's where I'll get all the answers.
Yeah.
And
I'll feel good, and I won't have to think about it.
Exactly.
I do my 1 day a week, and that's it.
I call it spiritual stress. They don't know how to deal with their spiritual stress, so they have to get a minister to do it for them. But they're, I mean, and that's not to slam all religion, because we love Pastor Ben Dixon.
Yeah,
I mean,
of course.
When Christianity is used as the foundation of a spiritually enlightened community, then that's a beautiful thing. But predominantly, that's not what it's used for.
Speaking of that, kind of a dark into a light story, and then a funny one at the end, because we're almost out of time here.
Yeah.
Ben and Jerry's. Jerry is leaving the company because the company, I believe, has been sold, and
it's been sold.
They are, they have been staunchly anti-Israel. They're two Jews who created this ice cream shop, and now they can't do. They're being told by the parent company, you can't say this, you can't say that, and so Jerry's saying, I'm done. Put out a whole statement, and it's sad, but the thing that brought a little bit of like hope to me is Chance the Rapper talked about this, and Chance the Rapper is a big fucking name. All right, I haven't listened to any of his albums. Maybe I will on my channel. I do album reactions, movie reviews, all that kind of stuff. But he says Ben and Jerry's is the only major company I know of that has repeatedly lobbied for Black American reparations. Two older men with access who have no incentive other than justice are now being punished in silence for their unwavering support of Palestine. I'm not heartbroken. I'm galvanized. We will continue to fight the good fight. The tide is turning. The tide is turning. I keep saying. And this last piece is just funny to me. Eric Adams has calls on the city council to ban horse-drawn carriages, signs executive order to get the city to prepare to end the practice. And Bill de Blasio retweeted it because that was his position. And I agree with that. As a fucking native New Yorker, I feel horrible for the horse carriages at Central Park and other places around the city, mostly Central Park. They go through the streets, dude. It's not like away from the park. It's very like nervous.
You don't like the horse carriages? Don't make sense to you? No good on the
I mean,
horse carriages?
I care about animals. I think they should all be on fucking pastures running around giving horseback rides or whatever. But like in the city on concrete daily, and it's a taxing work, and they are going through the streets. They're in traffic, dude. You ever been stuck in traffic and there's a horse behind you? It's fucking weird. It's weird and scary because you don't know that the horse is not going to rear up and just kick your car. And smash the windows out, man. So I'm glad he's doing it. It's funny to me because it reminds me of Cuomo legalizing weed as he was getting kicked out, trying to like have some goodwill right at the end.
Yeah.
Which leads me to my little surprise announcement. In 2 weeks, on the 30th, I'm having Lindsey Boylan show up on this show, on my show, on this space. who first accused Cuomo, and yeah, has gotten that ball rolling and is a big part of New York politics. So I'm very
That's
excited for
great.
that.
That's great, man. Cool.
But yeah,
That'll be
I
an
want to
exciting
know what
guest.
you have to say, and I want you to wrap it up. Take us out.
No, it's great. No, thank you for doing that. Yeah, thank you guys for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe to me if you haven't already. Um, it's been a good show. Thank you, Alex, for joining us as always. And until next time, we're just both reminding you all that you don't get change in America by asking nicely. All of the recent events have proven that to be true. So
Oh
please
yeah.
continue to watch this space and check out my channel to learn why that is the case. And try to get involved with your local DSA, Democratic Socialists of America, if you're wondering how to get politically activated, because that's how I got activated and that's how I'm staying activated. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time.